Hey yo, what's up guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be about MMR, and it's going to be explaining how MMR affects your LP gains and how you can improve it, and basically give you a better understanding of how the MMR and LP system in League works. So if you don't know what MMR is, or you haven't fully understood how the system works, then you can pause the video and you can read the common question that is asked. And yeah, if you want to figure out what your own MMR is, just go to the website whatismymmr.com, and then you type in your IGN, for example, mine is K6, so we will see that my MMR is 3071 plus minus 48. That is the part that is not 100% accurate, so it could be 3.1k, it could be closer to 3k. And then it says it's slightly below Grandmaster, and I am Master myself, so this basically means my MMR is above my own ELO, which means that I'll be gaining more LP than I'm losing, and at the moment I'm gaining plus 20 and minus 14 in Masters. Okay, so I have two examples here. Both examples are gonna be a Gold 1 player with an MMR of 2000. This is just a made up number. I'm not exactly sure what the MMR of a Gold 1 player is, but in this made up situation, it's 2000. Both players are gonna be starting on 0 LP. And each rank up is 100 MMR, so that means we are now starting in Gold 1, which is 2000 MMR, and by the time we get to 2.1k, then we are in Plat 4 MMR. And each win we get is plus 17, and each loss we get is minus 16. So in my example number 1, we see that we start on 2k, and for each win and each loss, we gain 10 MMR and minus 10 MMR. This is basically like a rule of thumb. This rule is more correct and accurate in lower elos, whereas in higher elos, the MMR gain and loss can be sometimes even doubled and sometimes completely be 0. So the higher elo you are, the less accurate the plus 10 minus 10 system is. But just on average, for most of you guys, it will be plus 10 minus 10. So we are gaining plus 17, and we start off going on a big win streak here. So we go 17, 34, 51, 68, 85, and now we are in promos to Plat. So a normal player would just play the promos and try to get Plat 4 instantly. But instead, what we want to do in this situation is, so if we win this game, we are going to be having 40 MMR. Or if we win the promos, we will be 2090. But that puts us at a 10 MMR less than Plat 4. So that means our MMR will be slightly lower than the average Plat 4. And that could mean that our LP gains go from 17 down to 16. And then our LP losses could actually increase from 16 to 17, which then means that each loss makes us lose more LP than each win we get. Compared to now, we gain plus 17 and lose 16. It will be minus 17 plus 16 if we just play the promos. So instead, what we do is we dodge. We lose 10 for the first loss, or for the first dodge, another 10 for the second, and another 10 for the third. So now we are on 70 LP, but our MMR stays the same. And that's because when you dodge, you don't lose any MMR, you only lose LP. So now we've dodged the promos, now we want to try and get back into it. So we quickly win 2 games, we go to 87, we go to 100, boom, now we're back in promos. Now actually, if we win this promos, we will be at 2110 MMR. So this means our MMR will actually be slightly higher than the average MMR. And this could mean that our LP gains are either going to stay the same, or they might actually become even better. So maybe we get plus 18 and only lose 15. Now you can keep on doing this trick over and over again. So in this example, we do it one more time. So again, we dodge 3 games. Our MMR stays the same. And then we get back into promos. Now our MMR is already Plat 4. But we haven't even played our promos yet. So if we actually end up winning, we will actually be at 2130, which is 30 MMR higher than our than the average rank or the average MMR of a platinum player. So this could put our LP gains to maybe plus 19. So this is basically how it will work on paper. But the thing is, the Riot API actually works a little bit different. So when you're dodging a promo, or when you get to promos and you dodge it, the matchmaking is actually going to be matchmaking you with players that are Plat 4. So more Platinum 4 players rather than Gold 1 players. So you'll very often see that in your promos, you are playing against players who are in the rank you're about to promote into, and less of the players that are the same rank as you. So in this situation, you will probably be playing against more Plat 4 players in your promos compared to when you're not in your promos. So yeah, you can basically keep on dodging over and over again and stack your MMR. But basically what happens is when you go on a win streak, your LP gains are actually going to be increasing because the system is like, oh, this guy is winning over and over again. So the system is trying to help you get to the rank that it thinks you deserve. Because if you win, like, I'll give you an example. I have a friend, Samson, who is playing on a Master Tier Smurf account, and he won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games in a row. So now it doesn't show all the games where he got LP, so we cannot see how much exactly he got for each win, but I would assume that it's like 20 to 21 for each of these games. And then we get up to here, where he gets 22 for this game, he gets 20 for this one, he gets 21, he gets 20, but then he gets 24. If he kept on winning, he would constantly get plus 24 over and over and over again, all the time. But sadly, he ended up losing, so this means that now his MMR dropped a little bit. So maybe now he's only gaining like 22, 23, who knows. But basically, win streaks will help you increase your MMR really, really fast until that win streak ends. So it's like a fast way to increase your MMR, but it's very short term. It doesn't stay for that long. Compared to dodging, this strategy will work and keep your MMR basically higher than the average rank. And this basically will mean that, let's say you just instantly play the promos right here, and you end up having 2000, even if you 3-0 the pro, this is if you 3-0 the promos. If you go 3-2, your MMR will be 2070. That will be 30 MMR less than the average Plat 4 player. So this basically means your LP gains are going to be worse. This will make it a lot harder for you to go from Platinum 4 up to the next division, which would be Plat 3, Plat 2, Plat 1, Diamond 4. And it'll be a lot harder for you to climb through Platinum if your MMR is bad. That is basically the reason why you never really want to promote an account that has bad LP gains, unless if that rank is basically your goal and you don't want to play anymore. So let's say we just want to get to Plat 4, then fine, play the promos. If you win it, congratulations, you got your goal. You now don't have to play ranked anymore because you got the rank that you wanted. But that's not how personally I am, and that's probably not how you are if you are watching this video. So we want to keep on playing, we want to keep on grinding, we want to keep getting higher elo. Well, in order to do that, our MMR needs to be higher than the average player in that elo, because then we can get higher LP gains, and that will help us in the long run to get to the next rank, and next rank, and next rank, and next rank, etc., etc. And this can also work in games that are not promos, but in my opinion, dodging, especially the promos, are a lot better. Again, because the matchmaking will matchmake you with the people that you are, the people's rank that you're about to promote into. That's why I think dodging, especially in promos, is really, really good. So yeah, now let's move over to example number 2. So this is a guy who never dodges. And this guy is just playing over and over and over again. He never dodges, he just plays every single game out. So he starts on 0 LP with an MMR of 2000, and he ends up winning the first game. That brings him to 2010. Then he loses, it's back to 2000. Then it's 2010, 2020, back to 2010, 2020, 2030, back to 2020. Then he wins 2 games, he loses 1, and then he wins 3 games. And that ends up bringing him to 100 LP. The difference here is the fact that this guy plays a total of 14 games. if we don't include these. So this guy ends up playing 14 games. This guy only ends up playing 10 games. So this guy has to play 4 games more in order to get to the rank that he wanted, or basically to get into promos, because he ended up losing some games. So how can you avoid these losses? Well, there are many different things that you can do. You can dodge the games on the way that you don't think are winnable and take the -3 or -10 LP loss, and then your MMR is still going to be the same. Because the difference in MMR here is actually 40 as well. That's 4 wins in difference, which are the 4 games. So if this guy ends up promoting, his LP gains are going to be completely terrible in Plat 4. And that means he's probably going to be stuck Plat 4 or maybe even demoted to Gold 1 again. And then he has to reclimb. Whereas this guy is probably going to be able to climb to Platinum 3 fairly easily. Maybe also Plat 2. And then he needs to maybe go on a win streak or consistently dodge a lot of games and consistently win more games that he's losing in order to get to Plat 1 and into Diamond 4. So this is basically the difference between dodging and not dodging. So I heavily recommend dodging, especially every day. Dodge at least 1 game because it's a -3 and it can save you like 16 LP losses. And you take -3 LP, but your MMR stays the same. So a lot of players simply do not care about their LP. They just care about their MMR. And they care about the MMR for the first 10 months of the season. And then the last season, that's where they care about the LP. Because they want to peak in terms of LP. Because people always say like, oh, you peaked this LP. So they pretty much just care about it in the end season once they have probably the highest MMR they've ever had. So yeah, I heavily recommend dodging. I heavily recommend dodging in promos. But if your LP gains are completely terrible, even after you're doing this system, there is actually a way to have a super high MMR in a fairly long-term like timeline. And this I heavily recommend if you're below Plat. I really heavily recommend you this. Create a new account, play normal games, get a high normal game MMR. Again, you can see what your normal game MMR is by going here. And then, yeah, by the time you play normal games or ARM, of course you have to play normals, then it will show you the MMR and you want to aim for like 2.4k. I have an entire video dedicated to this. So I'll link it down below so you can see how to do it. And then your LP gains are gonna be massive. So yeah, I heavily recommend doing that if this system does not work. But yeah, I hope this guide gave you guys some insight on how the system works and that it explains why MMR or your LP is so low and how you guys can basically fix it. But if this video was confusing, there's something that you didn't understand, then comment in the comment section down below. And then I'll try to reply. I can give you guys specific examples for your account as well if it's needed. But yeah, this is basically like the basics of how the system works. It's not a 100% accurate guide, but again, the right API gives you more LP on wins as we saw here. If you're gonna big win streak, you'll be gaining more than just plus 17. And if you dodge the promos, you're probably gonna gain more LP instantly. So maybe you'll get plus 18 the first time you dodge these 3, and then plus 19 the next one, etc, etc. But yeah. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you want to see more, then subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. And otherwise, you can check out my Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/Kami_Khazix. And ask me live on stream if you have any questions. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully.